All right, this is Captain Mike with Four Ribs Fishing. I'm with Chris Gallagher, who is the General Manager of Garden State Yacht Sales, and we are on the Cobia 350cc at the AC 2022 In-Water Show. Hi Chris, how you doing?
Awesome. How are you today, Mike?
Great, great. So you know very well I have a 301.
Yes,
love
sir.
the boat. This is kind of two steps up from mine, but would you mind walking our viewers through the highlights of the 350?
Just a quick overview. 35 foot, 11.3 beam on this thing. She's wet, about 13,000 pounds. She holds 323 gallons of fuel. Another 35 gallons of water. Really built to go to distance. You know, with a pair of 4 1/4 V8s on it, or a set of triple 300s, we've been averaging about 1.3, 1.4 miles to the gallon at a 40 knot cruise. Top end on this thing's about 62, 63, irrespective of package. The 4 1/4 seem to be a little more torquey in the mid-range, but people pretty much same performance whether you go 4 1/4s or 300s. But you've got plenty of fuel. Probably 2 trips to the canyon for us.
2 trips?
2 trips.
1 tank of fuel,
1 tank
2
of fuel.
trips,
Yes,
out of
sir.
Manasquan.
Out of Manasquan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
with,
great.
with that economy and that speed, I mean, it's been good. Boat is resin infused. It's done in 2 pieces instead of being the traditional 3-piece shoebox fit. Very rigid, very light for its size. The resin infusion's a perfect match of matte to resin, so you don't get too much resin in the boat, so it doesn't get brittle, and also doesn't put unnecessary weight. Especially with the price of fuel today, you don't want to be pushing around all that excess. We're a fully loaded boat. If you come up to the bow here, you can see how deep the gunnels are, which is nice.
Yeah, let's see if we could show this. I'm waist high, so I feel very safe.
And we also have a very vertical side to the boat, so you don't have that wicked lean if you're fishing, which is nice. Very straight wall gunnel. As with most boats in the class right now, we do have a sunshade available. It's a little too windy today to put it up, but we do have a sunshade option on the front of the boats now for that family friendly. In terms of family friendly, we have full U-shaped seating. We do have a power table that works as a casting platform if you stop it, or if it goes all the way up, you can use it as a dining table. And if you leave it at the casting level, we do have a cushion for it, so if the folks want to lay out, get some sun, it is a full berth up forward.
So Chris, while I was looking at it, I couldn't help but notice the latch configuration on the 350. It's on the outside of the door as compared to mine.
Yes, it is, and that catches under the side here.
So much better.
Much cleaner.
Yeah, much cleaner, but you could also access it with the cushions on.
And the cushion can also come up with the lid. You're not pulling them off to get into your gear, which is nice. We are guttered, gasketed. It is a dry storage in the boat, as you can see. They all drain overboard. Nothing in this boat drains into the bilge except for the deck and the head compartment, only because that's lower than the waterline. Everything else in this boat is above waterline, drains overboard. And in terms of casting, getting to the forward deck, this cushion comes up. We have a removable panel here that you can leave in or take out, which is nice, so you can move forward on the boat and just leave it on the dock if you want. Up forward, pop-up running lights. Everything we do here, low grab rail, pop-up cleats on everything, pop-up lights, because we are fishing oriented. We're not going to snag on anything if we're casting.
Nope, definitely.
And our grab rail runs all the way back to the seating, so if you walk forward in a rough sea, you do have the ability to have a grab rail.
And I could say that I use that just about every time I'm on my boat. Between that and the rail on the top of underneath the hardtop, I grab both of those as I'm walking by in
Being
rough
a fish
seas.
boat company, they do think about that, which is nice. Up forward, we have a full Lumar 700 vertical windlass, power up, power down. 20 feet of chain, 400 feet of line. We do have a keeper and
a cleat.
And we also now offer freshwater washdown in the well to clean the anchor if you're in.
That's freshwater.
Freshwater now.
Oh yeah,
and which is nice
water.
at the front if the young ladies or people are sitting up front, they want to rinse off.
Yep.
It is fresh now, not salt. Okay. We do have 2 separate freshwater tanks, and the head is also freshwater flush now.
Oh wow.
So that keeps the stink down in the boat. You don't get the ammonia smell.
Chris, huge coffin box here.
Big coffin box, keeping it in the family-friendly vein. There is an ability to lay out. This does lift up. Gives us plenty of storage up here, which is nice, and it is dry. So you can use it as a fish box, you can use it as a dry storage, bumper storage.
I actually think my life raft would fit in there.
Yes.
I have a 6-person.
And it is gasketed and guttered, so it is dry, which is really nice.
Yeah, very nice.
We're facing backrests if you want to use them. If not, they go down below, and they have rod holders built into the deck that you can store them down below.
I've mounted rod holders inside of my head, and they get stored in there.
Same thing.
Yeah, perfect.
Powder coated, fully enclosed windshield, hard black sand with wiper, which is nice. We have spotlights, sides, aft and forward. On top, we'll go over the electronics in a little bit. Full radar, big 4-foot open array.
These floodlights absolutely light this entire boat up, Chris. LED.
They're excellent. We do have 4 index fish boxes. The 2 forward ones drain overboard. The 2 rears are macerated overboard.
And Chris, these are huge. Let's open just one of them. They're absolutely huge.
Definitely tuna size.
Yes.
You can smell the styrene out of the factory.
Oh, that new boat smell.
New boat smell.
Makes me want another one.
And it's about 6'4" in this
very tall, very tall.
Which is great. Great access. For a 34-foot boat, we actually have a lot of room. This model year, when they went from the 344 to the 350, they popped the headroom up. This is a filler cushion. It goes in. If you have long legs, you can go even longer. We do have a pad here for a full mattress. We just haven't opened it up for the show. I want to keep it fresh for the guy who buys it. And the best part of this is the entire berth pops up, and you have under berth rod storage.
Wow.
Which is really nice for this size boat.
Sure is.
So that way you're not throwing the stuff on top of the mattress.
No. 6 rods we could fit in there? Probably 6
Absolutely.
footers? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. 6'2". Not going to get a 7-footer in there, but you can lay them on top of the bed if you have to. That does secure down. We do have portholes in here. They did a nice job with the storage lockers that they built in this. The other nice feature we have in here is we have direct access behind the helm to all the switches and your fuses. So we have great visibility on all the electronics.
Absolutely.
Which is nice. They brought the panel up in here now, which is really great. We use no fuses in the boat. Everything is breaker. The only fuses is on the electronics because they're a little more sensitive than a breaker, but all your breakers are labeled and they're all right here. So if you have any trouble on the boat, you immediately come here, you can feel the protective cover, see if it's popped, reset. As I was explaining with the batteries before, every battery has its own switch. We do have the ability to parallel and tie all these batteries together if we had to. We also have the house battery right here. It's a completely separate control. And then we have all our main breakers on the heavy duty 50 and 100 amp breakers. All accessible. We have a little sink area here with storage, LED lighting. Another really nice feature.
Oh, wow.
We have full access into the window washer fluid because we do have a wiper and window washer fluid. Your B175L is right here. You can see the transducer. You do have a midship bilge pump with float switch. That's your 3-way valve for the toilet, so you can dump. So our toilets flush into a big holding tank. From the holding tank, you can pump it out to the side of the boat, or you can dump it overboard if you're 3 miles offshore.
That is so easy to get to.
And the best part is the fill hose and the overboard discharge shutoffs are right here. There's no digging. It's nice and clean. The accessibility is much better than the smaller boats.
Yep, absolutely.
The freshwater filters in here, and that's the macerator pump to throw everything overboard.
Yep.
We do have a full Japsco head here. It is macerated head, goes to the holding tank. That is a freshwater flush. So when salt water meets feces, you get ammonia, you get that stink in the boat. We don't have any of that because now we're now using freshwater flush. Okay.
Excellent.
Great. Helm area. To me, the most important area. Big, wide glass area. Plenty of protection if it's crappy out. We've been running double wings off of this boat, two, so you don't have to do a 5-side or 4-side enclosure. We just do 2 big wings to the first rod holder, all the protection you need.
It's exactly how I set mine up.
Everybody worries about the heat with this big 3-side windshield, but we are fully vented up top. We have the ability to vent open all the way, all the air you need. So we still get a compass. Electronics package in here. Doing a full CL7, which is actually a Garmin 743, gives you the ability to have your gauges, but it's also a fish finder and chart plotter.
No kidding.
Yes. That's the Yamaha gauge. It's actually made by Garmin. Double 8616s in here. So we have the ability to run 2 transducers. We run a B175 low for the deep stuff. And then inshore we run a GT51 MTH, which is a through hole, which gives you side scan down view, and it also gives you a chirp ability. Okay.
We added a side scan on my boat, and I've come to really appreciate it when trying to net a bunker that are deeper and you can't see them on the surface.
And what's nice about these 2 screens now is you can run sonar on both and run 2 different transducers using 2 different frequencies. The old days you were limited to 1 single frequency at a time, so now we can run 2 deucers at the same time and give you double reporting. So you can do a deep drop and then you can have your side scan down view. Other nice feature, up top we put in a full GMR 424 XHD 4kW open array 48-mile radar. Tied into this whole thing is now Yamaha controls the autopilot. Autopilot, it does pick up waypoints off the Garmin's, but it runs its own, you can do a heading hold, which uses its own compass, or we can use the double 8616s and use track point, which will use a waypoint and steer to the waypoint that's chosen it's been chosen in the Garmin's. Tied into that, we have the new DES steering, digital electric steering, digital throttles, 2 throttles, 3 engines, 2 throttles, 2 engines now. And we have the joystick, which is tied into the digital steering on the 4 1/4. It gives us the ability to go sideways, laterally, diagonally. It also gives us the ability to use the 3 drift point, fish point, and stay point, which gives you the ability to drift holding heading. We can stay where we are in 1 point and hold heading, or we can just stay in a point and drift around that point and not worry about heading. So it gives us 3 different modes for a digital anchor, which is really nice. We do a JL audio stereo, 8 big speakers with a 1,000-watt amp, all made in the United States. All parts of this radio, including the electronics, made in the United States.
Awesome.
Which is nice. Digital controls now, working in conjunction with the digital steering and the joystick. Also have the ability to do single lever now, like a big boat. Put the lever out of the way, control all 3 motors with 1 lever.
No kidding, that is pretty slick.
Which is really slick. Garmin VHF with AIS brings up all the boats over 65 foot that have they're broadcasting AIS will show up on your screens. You know, assorted storage. On the top we have storage also, which is nice.
Glove box on
Glove
the
box down below, which gives us access to the cigarette lighters, the USBs, and the 3.5 millimeters old school. Starting now is all power push button. It's all digital. No more keys. It's all key fob. Nice about this boat, we have a very large storage area up above.
Yeah, it's super
8 life
wide.
jackets. Yeah, you can do 8 life jackets, throw cushion. Readily accessible. Cobia also offers 3-up Helm chair, which is nice. They're all LeBrox, same stuff that's used on all the pricier boats that are out there. Just our logo on a LeBrox seat. The other nice feature in this boat, which is one of the nicest features, instant access to your batteries. 4 AGMs, 31 series AGMs. You have tons of power. The house, I'm doing 2 batteries on the house now. 1 for each engine. They're totally isolated. They're on independent switches. You can parallel and join them if one of them takes a crap on you.
The shrink wrap labels on there, that's pretty slick.
So Cobia is one of the few small boat companies that actually tags both ends of the wires.
Oh.
So in terms of tracing out, makes it really easy on this boat. If you ever had an electrical issue, everything is labeled. The nice part about these new motors is each motor drives its own battery. And then each motor has the accessory to run an isolated lead, which is completely independent of the other charging legs. So you have 2 independent charging legs on each engine. So every battery has its own charging leg. Or you'll never have a dead battery. And
before you had to send the engine charging to one battery and then
correct.
Bridge it over through...
or run parallel, which
yeah.
you don't have to do anymore. So even if the house were to go out on you, say you ran it too long, the minute you start the engines, the house is back. So you'll never lose the house, which is a nice feature.
It probably simplifies a bunch of their wiring too.
Absolutely. Well, try to keep it old school. No more VSRs, no more of that funky crossovers. It's one switch, one battery. And they're completely independent. You cannot kill both engine batteries in this boat. It's impossible because they're completely independent systems. It's just another safety factor, which is really nice.
Yeah, no parasitic drain on from a bad one.
So the only thing the engine batteries do is start the engines, and that's it. There's no other drain on those batteries. Everything else in the boat runs through a double house. So what we've done is put the 2 together and created one giant house battery out of 2. So it'd be really tough to kill it.
Chris, I see the Rupp Revolution outrigger mounts. Are there options for the riggers themselves beyond the mounts?
So in-house, we actually everybody asked about the Gemlux. We actually use the Gemlux Deluxe. They did fit with the smaller handles. I did it on a recent 35, so it is an option internally. From the company, they still stick with the Rupps, which are foolproof, proven, old school, and they work. We do have a dive door on board, and we have a really nice feature here. We have the boarding ladder, which goes into 2 sockets in the deck, and as easy as just pushing 2 buttons, it removes. So it is a safety feature, gets the kids away from the engine if you did go offshore. The other nice thing is get a big fish, drag it through the dive door.
That's what I like it for.
We do have a nice tackle prep center, little ice box, drains overboard. We do have a freshwater sink here, knife rack that they did put in.
Yeah, I like
tackle drawers.
I would actually appreciate that knife rack. Drawers are huge.
Another knife rack. Nice set of Plano 3700s. They even give you your leader holders, which are nice. And we do have a freshwater shower on the side here also. We do have 2.
Now there's other configurations, right, for this
So the only
station?
other configuration, which is not popular up here, is they do a refrigerator. That's big in Florida. Refrigerator and AC, 2 big Florida items.
Yeah.
But up here in the Northeast, we really stay away. Everybody wants tackle storage.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you do have a nice prep area.
Yep.
Back of the boat, we do have a 3-wide seat, okay? Just pop up, but it does hold 3 adults comfortably. We also have a nice feature here where you have instant access to your fuel filters.
Yeah, very easy to get at.
Very easy to check if you have to dump them. God forbid you got water on board, it'd be real quick. The other nice feature is we do have a day hatch here. Gives us access to the bilge. You'll see one freshwater tank. There's another freshwater tank on the other side of the stringer.
Yeah, they're huge too.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Trim tab pumps. You'll see your GT51
Yeah, straight.
medium TH popping through the hull there. There's your 2 live well.
2 bilge pumps.
2 bilge pumps with a high water alarm. And you have 2 live well pumps down there. 1 for each side. So we're not splitting or diverting.
And the rules now, they're not the piranhas.
No. In the bigger boats, they've been using the rules. Another nice feature now, Cobia has been reinforcing the rear gunnels and giving us deep drop reel outlets.
Oh, yeah.
Extra rod holder. You can see the deep drops.
How about that?
The wire direct.
Both sides, I love
Both
it.
sides. And then you'll see your fresh and saltwater washdown.
Mm-hmm.
Your hose bibs, quarter turn, their whale fittings. They all use Gemlux and whale. All the fittings in this boat, as every other premium boat on the market, we do use the best hardware. Another nice feature, we do have full access to the bilge through a hydraulic ramp.
And Chris, this feature, I have this on my boat, as you know, and this is probably one of the best features for someone who's maintaining their boat.
Absolutely. Plus for safety and being able to see everything in your boat, it's right here. You can actually crawl in there, which that's unbelievable access.
And for those who subscribe to my channel, you've seen me get my body, my 6 foot tall, overweight body in there plenty of times.
Every rod holder in the boat does have a drain on it, which is a lot of small boat companies would never do that. Every box in our boat is insulated, including the live wells. You can see the live wells are all insulated, and all the pumps and everything are readily accessible and visible if you were to have a problem. 2 independent live wells, very big thing in Florida, not as big up here, so you can run 2 baits. They are pressurized. You can have the baits, it's amazing when you watch if you're in a rough sea. You can fill that all the way up to the top. It'll actually touch the lid, and the baits are calmly in there even though the boat's taking a pounding. It's an amazing sight to see.
Yeah, that's interesting. They weren't doing that for my boat back when I bought it, and I'll get to where I'm going, and all my bunker they're beaten up. Their faces are all bruised up, and
so you can actually pressurize these and have it run to the top and just overflow out the top. They are vented, so you can open the door again if you want to get back inside there. These are the 4 1/4 Yamahas. They're a V8, 425 horse. Best part about these motors is the digital steering module that's at the front of the motor. No more hydraulic hoses, no more hydraulic leaks, and I've had 0 issues. You get digital throttle, digital steering, and joystick and autopilot all in one now because of the digital modules on the front.
now the 4 1/4s have another maintenance improvement when it comes to changing the lower end gear lube too.
Yes,
right?
you can change the oil through the top of the motor now. You don't have to take the boat out of the water to get it out.
Plenty of rod holders.
Yes, the back support legs for the top, they got smart and put a ton of rod holders on it.
And these are Gemlux.
This is all the Gemlux
branded.
And I can do 30s, 15s, and zeros. We actually have zeros available now if you want to run bent butts out of the back or, out rodders. The downrigger out rodders.
Yeah, we use those for striper fishing in the bay all the time.
And I can add as many rod holders as you want.
And you certainly have on my boat.
Yes, we have. Definitely.
And you know what? I don't have enough.
You don't have enough. You never have enough.
You never have enough. All right, great job, Chris. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great show.
Thanks for looking.